Well, as you know, on Subculture over the last couple of weeks, we've been taking a look at some of the shows that you can expect at this year's Melbourne International Comedy Festival. And the next one that we're taking a look at is the brand new show from Rohan Arneil called Top of the Food Chain that is going to be at both the Melbourne International Comedy Festival and also the Sydney Comedy Festival. So we thought we would actually get Rohan on the phone today to chat a little bit about this show. So welcome to the program, mate.
Thank you. It's hilarious to hear that the name of that show on radio.
Well, mate, you've actually already been able to perform this show, and you've been getting rave reviews for it. Does that make you feel a little bit less nervous going into both the Melbourne International Comedy Festival and the Sydney Comedy Festival?
Yeah, it's way better. I just get to sub stuff out. I just have 6 months to write slightly better stuff that I like, and everyone else, the people I live with, are freaking out right now. And I'm just pottering along, being like, yeah, I got some new jokes that'll work. Nice. Every other comedian in Australia is in a different place than me right now.
Yeah. So I know I've been going to Comedy Gold the last few Friday nights down here in Melbourne, and seeing some of the comedians trialing out some of their stuff for the comedy festival. Like, have you been able to do that like with the newer jokes, or are you just going into it absolutely fresh with the newer jokes?
Oh no, we're all always gigging.
Yeah.
I'm always gigging. I did, and like the people have been running trial shows and stuff up here, so I'll just like do half an hour of new jokes, and you get to read off paper. I love being able to read off paper, and not pretend it's all in my brain. So I've still been doing all the trial shows with everyone else.
Yep.
So I'm that shit.
So tell us a little bit about Top of the Food Chain. What can we expect from this show, and how did you put it all together?
How did I put it on? Just from gigging non-stop, really. It's all just gigging. And then I wish I was a comedian that could be making jokes about things that don't involve me. Like just random things around the house, observational jokes. But basically, it's just all stuff that I've encountered.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of relationship here and there, I think. I think one breakup has caused a fair amount of material. And then it's just a bunch of different jobs, really. And then how I've just general stuff that happens to me in life.
Yep. Is it easy telling jokes about something like a breakup? Because I know I was talking to a comedian once and I was asking them what time did they feel the most awkward on stage? And they said they realized that they were doing a show about a breakup that they'd had, and they looked out into the audience and realized that the brother of the girl that they'd broken up with was sitting in the audience. Is it easy? Is it easy to joke about something like that from your personal life?
Yeah, an ex-girlfriend was actually once at a show where one of the jokes was so clearly about her. But, I don't know, she just kind of laughed it off. I got a message from an ex that one joke was about, being like, is this about me? I'm like, obviously it's about you. But it's just because you're thinking about the thing, so
Yep.
you end up writing a joke about it.
Yep.
It's not like I don't sit down and be like, I must get this emotion out. I'm like, no, I just happen to be thinking about it. And I'm making it funny for myself, and then there we go.
Yeah. Have you had an awkward moment like that, though? Like, apart from ex-girlfriend being in the audience, have you had a moment where you've suddenly looked down and seen someone and gone, oh, shit?
I was once, so long ago, like 7 years ago. This is the only one where it's like, it rocked me. Like 7 years ago, I was on such a bad show, and I was going so poorly. And I looked down and saw my girlfriend at the time's like cousin and her boyfriend that were both just like such cool people. And I was like, I just can't be seen here right now in this state. Like, I would prefer to be seen naked than in that vulnerable of a situation.
Yep. Now, of course, Top of the Food Chain is your debut hour of comedy, but tell us, let's go back a little bit further. Where did your interest in comedy first start, and how did you start out your comedy career?
I just liked it a lot, and then there was an open mic at my local pub when I was like 20, and we'd go there on a Friday night, and it was fun, and then I started resenting the comedians and being like, oh, I could be better than you. And then it was all spite, really. And then I stopped being able to enjoy it. So I was like, oh, I better do it. And I asked them, and I was like, and then they just pointed me there. Now I live with one of them, actually. One of the ones that I thought I could be better than. And yeah, mainly spite, I guess. Yeah. And then it's just so much fun, man. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, I went to film school and stuff, and to make a film, it's the biggest hassle in the world.
Yep.
And then you watch it, and you're like, great, it's bad.
Yep.
I made something bad. But with stand-up, I can just, like, have an idea, and I can call someone, and that night I can be like, what do you guys think of this? And if it's bad, you haven't really committed much. Like, you haven't worked on it for 3 months, it's fine.
Yep. What was that like the first time you got up on stage and did stand-up? Because I know for me, I almost made myself physically sick before the first time I got up. But what was that like for you?
I thought it was going to be worse, but there had been a lot of comedians had gone, like, so badly that when I wasn't going so badly, I was like, I'm the king. So the fact, it's just comparison.
Yep.
Like, I'm sure if I saw that set now, I'd be like, oh my God. But at the time, I was like, just the fact that I'm getting any laughs is fantastic.
Yep. So, according to your bio, you've worked in a few different jobs. You've been a garbo. You're currently a stonemason's apprentice. So tell us a little bit about that side of your career and how does that feed your comedy career?
It makes you work harder. It's the comedy part of it. Because you're like, I don't want to be doing this at 50. It's all fun and games now.
Yep.
But, yeah, Garbo's really impossible to be. As soon as COVID ended and I was gigging again and I had to wake up at 3:55, I was like, all right, this job's out. But it does give you something to talk about, because I do like talking about it.
Yep, yep.
Just because it's fun to work in an industry where I used to think I had a problem with authority. But basically, you work one day as a garbo and you're like, oh no, these guys have a problem with authority. I'm pretty chill. It's nice to also learn. I learned at that job, there's a difference between, I used to think that, like, street smarts wasn't really a thing, but it's totally a thing. Like, I was constantly, like, accidentally putting my neck on the line for people, where other people would be like, don't get involved, don't get involved. Like, I was the only person in my company. There's like 40 trucks on the road in our depot. I was the only one that answered the boss's phone call.
Okay.
No one else is answering their phone calls. They're just out on the truck. They're, don't bother me. And one day I answered it, and my offsider was like, why are you answering the phone, mate? He's not going to give you less work. He's always going to be giving you more work. And I was like, oh, true. I'm an idiot.
You must see some pretty interesting things out while doing a garbo run as well, because you're kind of out before society starts to wake up. Did you see some interesting things during that time?
You have people yell at you a bit. People yell about their bins, who I don't know who would possibly do that.
Yep.
I've had dudes yelling, like, in, like, blokes in rich areas, because we, like, wouldn't take the bin because there was bricks in it. I was like, you can't put bricks in bins, mate. And then he's staunching up to us. Sure, me, staunch up to me. But Jaden here just got out of prison, like, 3 months ago. He's got, like, absolute cornrows. It's like, mate, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Don't do this right now. But yeah, you do. I just love garboing, like 4:30 till 6. Everyone's just kind of on pilot mode, like, and it does bring you together. Obviously, everyone's starting together so early. But mate, once the sun comes up, every garbo just gets so much energy, and it's just witching hour for the boys. That's what I used to enjoy. 6:30 to 10, everyone's just like, this is the best job ever. Then we all kind of get a bit tired.
I'm not really a morning person, but I remember one morning I was getting the Spirit of Tasmania boat from Melbourne down to Tassie, and I had to be there mega early, and was driving along, and there were some weird units getting around Port Melbourne at that time of morning, topped off by what I can only describe as a 60-year-old man with a lot of skin, wearing gumboots and nothing else, jogging. Did you see a lot of that kind of stuff around?
I think that might be a more Victorian thing, mate.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, no one was out, mate. It was just us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just us. But, yeah. But that feeling of the morning, you can, like, I was for a while, and I still have to wake up early. But, like, at 3:55, no matter how long you've been working as a garbo, driving to work, you still feel like you're driving to the airport. It's still that, like, stale, like, just like, this is wrong. Like,
yeah. So I've also got to ask, what's it like living with other comedians?
Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. Yeah. Because you get the living room quite a bit. That's nice. If I'm not gigging, I can hold down a living room pretty hard.
Yeah.
I also know what gigs they're on. And then just the gossip's just ridiculous. If I couldn't come home, well, also, I have in the past, but, like, I got to come home from a gig where I'm, like, I just have some absolutely fresh gossip. And then I've got to first explain to my roommates who the person is that I'm gossiping about. It's a time suck, mate. Let's just go. This happened with this person. Everyone's like, whoa. So, but obviously at times tiring.
Yeah.
A lot of people trying to be the person speaking the most in conversation.
Do you bounce ideas off each other, or is that a bit of a no-no?
Kind of, but look, I live with a comedian, Billy Darcy, and so many people have said to us, "Oh, you guys must write together all the time and stuff," and we just have to be like, No, I think we just kind of talk trash on people all the time instead. I don't think we've ever done that.
Awesome.
And also everything that we've got a joke now that everything we've been like this in our patio been like, this is hilarious. It hasn't really worked on stage.
Yeah. Well, mate, for all our listeners out there, if you want to head along and check out Rohan doing his show called Top of the Food Chain, you can go and check it out at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival from the 5th to the 18th of April at the Dove Club, and then in Sydney at the Comedy Festival from the 2nd to the 5th of May at Enmore Theatre, and all of those details are up on our website. Rohan, to finish off, mate, what would you like to say to people out there who are thinking about heading along and checking out Top of the Food Chain?
Oh, 7 o'clock. It's pretty cheap as well. Just come. It's a good time. It's legit jokes. It's a fun time.
It is.